My parents adopted me when I was a baby. Both of my birth parents wanted a better life for me because my birth mother had bipolar disorder. My birth father was an alcoholic, and then they were both poor. The adoption agency made my adopted parents make a portfolio kind of thing, like with their family history and like things like that. Both of my grandmothers on both sides of the family have schizophrenia. So they knew that I would have a higher chance of having like a mental illness, so they wanted somebody equipped to handle that kind of thing. That's why my adopted parents were kind of chosen. You capture my mind and I try not to fall. I surrender my heart because I give you my all. White flag in the air because it's bombs from above. I'm vulnerable now. I've given up. The fight is over. 2 soldiers in the battle for position. I'm no longer driving. Car starts drifting. Light won't fade and the sun still glistens. I'm looking from within and I find your vision. I've searched for your love without any conditions. You're my remedy. You're my prescription. Healing with your heart. You've eased my depression. Anxiety has left me without a sign of infection. Changing my perception on dealing with rejection. There's no judgment when hearing my confession. 15 years old, I was going to Eastern Tech High School, and I would just run around the school. I had endless amounts of energy. My thoughts were always racing, and my speech, when I was talking about things, didn't all add up all the time, and so my parents noticed that there were signs that something was wrong. I got in trouble for not taking my hat off for the Pledge of Allegiance or something, acting out for no reason, and so they sent me to the principal's office. I broke down and crying in the principal's office. He didn't know what was going on. That's when my parents decided to take me to the hospital, and that was my first hospitalization of 3. It was 3 and 2.5 months. The longest of the 3 was a month straight I was in the hospital. That was the last one. I ended up being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I had psychosis as well, so I remember coming home and thinking my neighbors were out to get me. I thought I was a prophet. I thought that people at the hospital were famous. I remember thinking that Yellow Wolf was I used to think I saw him in the window, but it was just a plant, but it was far away. I would speak to people and I wouldn't look them in their eye. I'd be looking over here while I was talking to them, and my friends didn't know what was going on. I had missed so much school that they decided they wanted to exempt me from the whole 3rd quarter. That was the biggest blessing ever because I got exempt from all the work that I missed, so I didn't have to make up any work. I just passed on the 1st, 2nd, and 4th quarters. When I finally got better, I came back to school. My whole class wrote cards. They made cards out of construction paper for me. This love is true. Intentions are pure. My heart was broken, but I think I found the cure. As time passes, things happen. You're there for me. We're still standing. Lightning flashes. Waves crash and I'm captain, yet still shackled to you like I'm held captive. All this time I spent trying to defend my castle, but you're tearing down my border, flooding my heart. So much water, I can't breathe anymore. I'm trying to catch my breath, but I got no air left. I'm drowning in your love, in a locked hands, what's next? I got a lot I want to say, but I listen instead. Text misread, but your directions never misled. You've got my soul in your hands, it was love at first glance. I just had to take the chance. I've been singing since I was 2. The Backstreet Boys. That was my group growing up, and I used to sing, I want it that way. I got introduced to hip hop probably 5th grade. I wrote a little bit, but I wasn't very good at writing in high school. When I was sick, I could really freestyle off the top of my head, really well. That freestyling back then was probably scattered all over the place, scattered thoughts. When I was in the hospital, I remember that the medications made my thoughts slow down. So I would write everything. A year or so later, it was this is when I'm 17 or 18 years old. I decided that I wanted to do it for a living. I'm 22 now, and here I am trying to make it happen. So doing everything I can. My vision sees women and women and women. I'm swimming in love, or is it lust? I give a piece of me, just wanna love. Throw in the towel 'cause I'm giving it up. Trying to find happiness, sometimes I'm stuck. I sleep with women, so easy to love. I live by the motto, impact a life a day. I'd like to impact more lives than that a day. And music is the tool for me to do that. And my inspiration comes from the daily experiences in my life, the people that are in my life. They're all inspiration for me. I started my record label, Racing Thought Records, 3 years ago. It's been a process trying to find the right people, but once I found the right people, it's there's no going back. Feelings get hurt. Boundaries crossed. Am I free or am I just lost? I don't know. Feel like Russ, I'm losing control. I'm losing my mind, so I return home. 3 o'clock in the morning. What do? I call up Michelle. I bet she come through. Toxic nights make me reminisce. Temporary pleasure or sheer bliss. I could use another kiss on the lips, miss. Let's be in love only till the night ends.